Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. All right, family. 3 minutes before the top of the hour, 3 minutes before the bottom of the hour, 3 minutes before 8:30 on the East Coast right here. And I got a special guest for y'all coming in right here. Woo, I got a special guest coming in for you right here. The one, the only Lloyd Strayhorn, man. Not only is he an astronumerologist, an author, speaker, teacher, and a palm reader, but he's just one of my good brothers for many, many years, man. And we're going to have him coming on. You know, I advertise this flyer for him all the time. He's always on my channel. You know that. You know, I'm always shouting my brother out. But today, he is going to be speaking about the wonderful science of numbers. We're going to speak about that momentarily. Next 2 minutes, we'll be on with him live and direct. Remember, please join my membership if you want to get all the lessons that I'm putting up with the numerational lessons, breaking down words and sayings and all that kind of stuff. It's in my membership. You can get it going on. It's popping. People are supporting. Thank you all very much. And remember, the next lessons coming up is the numerational, spiritual, physical, and perspective of recharge and recharging. And another lesson that's coming up is the numerational, spiritual, and physical meaning of all is well and well is all. Don't forget, tomorrow on Instagram, I'll be interviewing the one, the only Dr. B Sirius from 12 to 1 p.m. on at Iam.KingSimon and at Dr. B Sirius, speaking about his next webinar coming up. Matter of fact, tomorrow at 7 p.m. that night. So that's going to be powerful. And big up to my girl, the one, the only Dr. Shakira Moore, that's going to be doing an interview with Egyptian Eyes on her podcast tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And then we're going over to see Paris. I'm going to be on Paris's network Saturday, Saturn's daughter on Paris's network on Thursday, November the 21st. I'll be on Paris's network, the one, the only Saturn's daughter. I'll be there live with my beautiful sister at 6:30. So make sure y'all support Paris. She's an herbalist. She's a nutritionist. She does all of that. Intuitive advisor, her Instagram, her YouTube, her website, all of that is up there. One of my moderators is this beautiful sister here, Dr. Shakira Moore, iridologist, nutritional advisor, and all that. And she got big things coming up also. She got the thing coming up with balancing your liver chi. masterclass on December the 11th. And don't forget, go to her Linktree /Holistica Healing or Holistica Palace. That's Holistica Palace. And don't forget, she got a winter solstice liver flush coming up for the solstice from December 16th all the way to the 21st. Pick up to one of my other moderators right here on King Simon Presents, the one, the only Color Curiosity. She teaches about color therapy, how to feng shui your life, wardrobe, all of that. She teaches how to dress, and she connects with colors, numbers, and astrology. She does it all. That's one of my people, and she got a special coming up. She's a Color Curiosity curator, and for consultation, all you have to do is text the number right there on the screen for the color analysis, as she help you to elevate your confidence and align you with 2025 and 2026 and beyond. She's going to hook you up. And don't forget, Phil Valentine is coming back out with a webinar on January the 19th. Make sure y'all support Phil. Countdown to 2030. Woo, it's going to be hot. And big up to my girl, Dr. Alicia. Remember, if you want a work from home position, make sure you contact Dr. Alicia and the whole crew. Text the words "hire me" at 770-861-9906. Part-time, full-time, but you must have clean background, all right? And, of course, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Make sure you support him. Hit him up on his 1-800 number. Join his classes. Join everything that he's doing. Also, he has an app on his website. Make sure you support that. Big up to NicholasBrooklyn.com. Celebrating 50 years all the time. That's what we do. That's why we do. Big up to Nicholas Brooklyn all the time. And big up to Carrie Ann Ingram from out of Toronto, Canada. Make sure you get your energy right with Carrie Ann Ingram. Hit her up at CarrieAnnIngram.com. That's CarrieAnnIngram.com. And big up to one of my sons out here in Georgia. He has a cleaning service company, pressure wash, car detailing, dumpster wash. Make sure you support my son, JB. His number's right there at the bottom. And my other son in New York City got recording studio to record your audiobooks, artist development, event productions, all of that. Big up to Prince Imagine at Green Studio NYC. His number's right here on the flyer. And if you want to book a session with me, I got 4 levels now. I got the 10-minute and the 15-minute pre-recording. I got the 30-minute and the 60-minute session where you talk to me directly and we're having fun. And don't forget, get all my books on Amazon, family. My Amazon and people are doing what we got to do. Get my books, or go straight to my Linktree /King Simon, the Motivator. For 2025, my new book is coming out, my new children's book called Strive to Live a Positive Life. My new children's book for this 2025 is coming out. And also my Angle and Angel Number book is coming out in 2025. Boom, it's called Numerovational Angles and Angel Numbers with King Simon. And don't forget, in 2026, my autobiography is coming out in 2026, When the Late Bell Rang, by T. Anthony, a.k.a. King Simon. Oh, yeah, it's going to be crazy coming up in these next couple of years. Let me give myself a well-deserved round of applause. Stop playing. I'm doing so much. I'm doing as much as Lloyd. So, without any further ado, what's so interesting, big up to my son again, because he finished my audio book at his studio. We finished the audio book at the studio. We're doing the editing. We're putting the frequencies behind it. I want to put binary frequencies behind it. So that's what my son is doing for me. We're going to make it happen. But without further ado, I want to bring on the legend himself. Oh, man. The world-renowned, oh man, the one, the only astro-numerologist, the one, the only Lloyd Strayhorn in the building. Let's get a round of applause.
Simon, the last 2 books.
Yes, sir.
The one on you, your biography.
Yes, that's coming out in 2020.
And the one before that, Angle Numbers or Angel Numbers?
Angle and Angel Numbers. That's right. The numerovation for Angle and Angel Numbers.
Yes. Yeah, well, I got to have you on to talk about those.
That's coming up in 2025.
I got to have autograph copies. I got, you know me.
Oh, bro.
I have all your books.
Well, your books. Lloyd, it's your fault.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it's your fault.
Your fault. You set me on this path after I've confirmed everything in 1989.
And I can't wait till you'll see your autobiography. That should be very interesting.
Ooh, Lord, Lloyd.
That's why it takes till 26 to do it, because it got so much to do. You know, Simon, how you been? You know, I tell people that we are brothers. Yes,
sir.
Are different mothers, but in every sense of the word, we're fellow Aquarians.
Yes, sir.
And in fact, Pluto just went into Aquarius yesterday. It's going to stay there until the next 19 years, until 2044.
Yeah.
And I was explaining even on my show this evening that Pluto is a revolutionary planet. Aquarius is definitely a revolutionary sign. So you know there's going to be a whole lot happening for people in general, the world in general, but more specifically for Aquarians more so.
Well, I'm gonna have a good time in it, regardless of what, because we ain't
I
getting
plan to do the same thing too, buddy.
Lloyd. We ain't getting out of here alive, so it's all good. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna have
yeah,
fun.
yeah. That's why I told people no one leaves this planet alive. I've
No
never
one.
met no one. And that includes the guy that says, by 2030, you're not one for nothing. By 2030, he may not be here. Okay.
Exactly.
So sometimes
Exactly.
you got to be very careful what you say.
Exactly. Now, family, I want to please remind y'all to please like, subscribe, and share and thumb up this video to build the algorithms. And remember, I want to give y'all, remember Lloyd Strayhorn's links are pinned to the top of the chat. His link tree is pinned to the top of the chat. His website is pinned to the top of the chat. Also, he's our astro numerologist, renowned astro numerologist, author, palmist. Of course, you can contact and send, you can send love to his Cash App right there. His Cash App is right there. That's numbers and you, $ numbers and you. His PayPal, you can go to Lloyd Strayhorn at msn.com. His 1-800 number is 800-581-4401. Gotta show Lloyd that love, man. Don't play with the love, man. Spread love. We spreading love, Lloyd. We gonna spread love today.
So what do you think about this new year? Actually, Simon,
Mm-hmm.
with your key numbers being the 1, 4, and 9, that means 2025, but especially 2026 is going to be, as they say, off the chain or whatever the case is.
Exactly.
You got a lot to look forward to.
That's why I'm doing all that I'm doing for these next couple. That's why it's going right into 2026. That autobiography has to be out, and I'm doing it. And I'm almost finished with the the Angel Number book. And Billy Carson wants to be the publisher of that. So if I get Billy to be that publisher, he's gonna.
Now, who designed the cover? The cover is brilliantly done.
I designed it with AI to make it happen. I put the AI. I'm studying AI now, and I'm already a graphic artist, but I'm studying.
As soon as I saw it, I says, "Oh, I got to get that book."
Oh, yeah. It's flying right into your face. I love it. I love it. Yo, and it came up with a few different titles, but with AI, you got to tweak it a little. You got to make sure you put extra. And even with breaking down certain things, even with numbers, they get the system sometimes wrong. And I'll be like, no, let me show y'all what y'all need to do with it. Because Chaldean is very hard to learn just like that. And even AI has a problem with it. So I said, you know what? I'm not even going to mess with it on Chaldean. Pythagorean is easy. That's how we do it. But this is a show about you, brother. Let's not go.
Well, here's the thing I want to ask you before we do.
Yes, let's go.
There was a question that was posed to me.
Yes, sir.
Did the question posed to me on my show was, did they think AI would replace what we as numerologists do?
No.
I said the same thing too. I said the same thing too, Simon.
No.
I said the only thing they could do maybe is add faster than we do.
Yes. But they're not going to bring the soul and the spirit with it.
Those were exactly the words I used. I swear. If you heard me, I said, but it don't have a soul. It don't have a spirit.
It doesn't have the spirit.
Yeah, it can't say it the way we do it.
It can mimic, but it can't be
it has no soul, brother. That's the essence.
You can mimic the original, but you can't be the original.
Yeah.
And what's so funny, if people understand in the Pythagorean system, the A and the I is the 1 and the 9 adds up to a 10. It's a wheel of fortune which could go both either or good. It depends on what you do with it.
Yeah.
Why the number 10 is that wheel of fortune on the mentality or how that person handles that 10. And then it's a number 2. I'm just the AI. I'm not talking about artificial intelligence. I said we keep on calling it AI the most popular in the Chaldean. We know it's a number 2, and that deals with balance, and you have to bring the balance if you're going to do it. And you can use it for healing or you can use it for deception. It's totally up to you.
That is true.
I told people I put this is what I did. I tested the AI the other day, and I said, how do I rob a bank? And they could not tell me that. They said, no, thinking about doing that, you either need. This was so funny. They said,
you got to figure that out on your own, fella.
Exactly. And then they told me, you better go. They gave me suicide hotline. They gave me other things to go and get therapy for that.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. That's what AI did. That means whoever is designed that particular AI, because there's a whole bunch of them, has a conscience and has integrity. They
Yeah.
put that, so if they ever put those criminal acts in there, it
Yeah,
can.
because there's always going to be somebody from that side of the world that's going to want to use it for more devious, dark
Exactly.
reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, and that's a problem. That's what. But I had to test it to see where we was going with this. You know, I had to test it. But
well, brother,
Lloyd,
you wouldn't be an Aquarius if you didn't do that.
exactly, and
No, that's how we
technology.
think. That's how we
Exactly.
think.
And technology is connected to the Aquarian age. So let's do it. Let's have fun. I'm
yeah.
with it. I'm with it 100%. Back in the day, I used to be afraid of the computer. But then because it was under religious values why I got afraid of the computer. But now I understand and I got rid of all that fear and say, yo, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Do this. Because I've been watching Dick Tracy since I was young. I was watching the Jetsons since I was young. We ready to go. I'm ready to do it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I need to give you credit for getting me started really on the computer. I mean, I use the computer just to type.
Yes, sir.
My first PowerPoint presentation ever came through you. My first live stream came through you. My first link tree came to you. So I'm always giving you your props, man, and it's really an honor to do that too.
Thank you very much.
No one person knows everything, Simon.
No one. We gotta share this wisdom with each other, man.
You have been really selfless in helping me. In fact, you did a lot for me more than people know. So if I ever have anything to say in your autobiography, I'd like to put what you did for me.
Oh, I definitely want you to write a blurb for it. Definitely want you to write a blurb for it. Definitely. You know, I got to go through those lifestyles that I went through, those lives. Got to go through those.
Well, I'm glad I shared part of it with you, brother. It was a wonderful experience.
But I won't mention any names.
No. We will protect the innocent at all costs.
like Perry Mason, sir.
Yeah.
You know, Lloyd, before we go on, I just want to make sure people go to his link tree, go to his website. He also have his apps. He got his links straight to his classes on Udemy. I have classes on Udemy, but he has a numerous. How many classes you got on Udemy now, Lloyd?
I have 3. They're the Learn from Lloyd series. Learn from Lloyd how to read a person like a book. Learn from Lloyd the next step in numerology, and learn from Lloyd the do's and don'ts of numerology.
Yes, that's very important. And so go to his website, his link tree, all of that is there. His Cash App is up here also. And first of all, the topic today is the wonderful science of numbers. Now, Lloyd, you've been doing this for some time, and I wanted to be a little different tonight because I know Lloyd Strayhorn, but did your parents ever give you a middle name?
Yes. Yes.
And what's the number to that? I don't want you to tell it. You don't have to tell it if you don't want to. But
it's
if you want to tell it,
start with a T.
It start with a T. And what's the number to that? Because the middle name is very important when we do sessions also. Why?
Well, you know what's interesting? Let me tell you how it works.
Yes, sir.
When my father was born, he had the first, middle, and last name. However, when I was born in Harlem Hospital, when they came home, they left the middle name out.
Oh, really?
Altogether, which was interesting. Then you and I know Mark Riley, right?
Yeah, of course.
From back in the day. Well, Mark was never his first name.
Right.
Whatever his first name was, he refused to tell me.
Oh,
that's when I started appreciating the Chaldean system, which means you take the name you're most known by.
Right, exactly.
But if we had to follow the Pythagorean system, and I tried to explain then when I was really into that, I said, well, Mark, you don't understand. I need your whole first, middle, last name. Whatever his first name was, he wasn't telling it to nobody.
Did you ask his brother? Because he had a brother that was working with us around
I know his brother. I liked his brother.
Clayton Riley, I think. Clayton Riley.
Yeah. He was something else. I hadn't even thought about asking Clayton.
Yeah, Clayton
had a whole different energy than Mark.
I mean, look at that name, Clayton. Now, not too many people would reveal that name, Clayton.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that like that. Hadn't thought of it like that. Yeah, but Mark refused to this very day to reveal.
That means it could have been something like Tiberius or something.
Yeah, but it's interesting. The question I always ask people now, Simon, is 3 things: who named you?
Right.
Why did they name you?
Right.
And what does the name mean?
Right.
And that when the person can answer those 3 questions, it seems to give them a better sense of who they are. You
Yes,
know,
that is the truth. And
yeah,
you started it back in the day when it wasn't as popular as people thought it was. It was popular back in more European, but a lot
yeah,
of us didn't know where it came from the melanated people.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
when it was back in Harlem, what was the battles that you had back in the day, and what these numerologists and astrologists of today have to realize is that there's people that they're on the back of these people that had to pave the way, because there was fights sometime over metaphysics. There was a lot of people that you had to defend and put them thing and put that and really debate people sometimes over this stuff. Tell us
Well,
about this.
it's interesting because I came out of the period where there was the church. Don't
Yes,
forget, it was just the period of the 60s.
that's right.
You know, everybody, we all got together in the church. What they did thought I was sacrilege. In fact, that was the days when astrologers and myself would not walk around with a numerology book just open. We had to put it
That's
in
right.
a brown paper cover.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So, yes, they knew we had a book, but it wasn't that kind of book.
That's
I
right.
even had an aunt when she saw me, she'd make the sign of the cross. You know what I'm
Lord have mercy.
saying? I'm telling you, it was so we had to be really, really sub rosa. We really had to stay under the radar to do that. But only those that were in the metaphysical mindset, we would all get together and stuff like that. So
Right.
nowadays, it's nothing to go to Google and find out about your stars, your numbers, your where the sun is going to rise, all that stuff. All that stuff is just there. But in
Right.
those days, and actually, that's one of the reasons why I like the older books. The older
Yes.
books, you had to really do your research.
Yes,
You
you
know what
did.
I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so, since we kind of come out of that generation, that's why you are able to do the research and produce the art, the work that you do. But
And I,
nowadays, they can get AI to write a book now on numerology.
yeah, I
You
mean,
be
I know.
writing it like we do.
I noticed some people doing that, and I'm not afraid to use AI, but I know I got to change the language when I let it sound like me. I have
Yeah,
to go in and do it all over,
yeah.
because I'm using some of the AI to write certain things, but I'm like, no, let me do it. Let me put my language in it so it can
But see,
sound
that's where the soul and spirit comes in. Now they can
exactly,
imitate your voice, they
exactly
can mimic your image,
right.
but they cannot take your personality. They
No,
can't.
they can't
The
take the
nuances, your laugh and stuff like that, they'll have that down, but they can never do what we do. No.
People that's just tuning in, please like, subscribe, and share this video, of course, to build the algorithms. And remember, make sure y'all follow Lloyd at Numbers and You on YouTube, and Numbers and You on everything, of course, TikTok, everywhere. And of course, his Cash App is up here, PayPal is up here, his 800 numbers here. All of his links is pinned to the top. Both of his links is pinned to the top of the chat, so you can just press right there and go support whatever he's doing. Now, you was there during the era of Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, all of the great ones, especially from First World and all those
And I
different
knew all of them personally
and you
because
knew all of them
they lived in Harlem
and they lived in
and
Harlem.
they were
So
all Capricorns.
and they all get which is now tell us in that era, because I know you do a lot of stuff on your show, but a lot of people don't go and delve into that past about Lloyd and what he did, and to even be in the midst of these great brothers and sisters and that was doing their thing. Tell us about that time and how did they feel about numerology and astrology back in those days, if you
Yeah, but
remember.
see, they were open. Don't
Yeah.
forget, these were historians.
Yes, it was.
And they were the ones that brought to my attention that if Pythagoras studied and learned in Egypt, then
Yeah,
where is the origin of numerology and the study of the stars?
exactly.
Right there, you
Exactly.
know. And then one example I put is that the Great Pyramid of Giza is built at the exact center of the earth. You don't do that willy nilly. You
Mhm.
got to have, and to this day, there's still some of its secrets that have not been revealed. How it is aligned with certain constellations of the movements of the stars in the heavens and things of that nature. And in fact, one of the times when we used to do shows featured every day on the stage of of the Apollo Theater.
Apollo
See, when
did.
I tell people I was on the stage of the Apollo
Yep.
Theater, they said, "Yeah, they don't know. I was there Monday through
Yep.
Thursday." You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
We was
Yep.
there for about 2 years or so. But I actually had Dr. Ben as a guest on my show,
That's
and
right.
he explained how in Egypt, where the pyramids are the symbolic signs of all the signs in the zodiac. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I went back as far as I could. So when I say that this is an African science, it doesn't take away from anybody else. But
Exactly.
my attitude is I'm not going to let nobody take away from us our contribution to this planet. We are the original man.
Exactly. And what's so funny about that is that, Dr. Ben being a historian, born December 31st, Dr. Clark being January the 1st,
Yep,
and
yep, yep,
and,
yep.
and
Got that
people
right.
and people like Ivan Van Sertima, who was Aquarius, actually born January 26th,
Yeah.
doing his thing. So these people were open because they're, as historians, they was open and they was always willing to learn something and bring it back. Because I have a book called Africa Speaks. And John Henry Clark is actually the one that did the forward, talks about mathematics and the mysticism of mathematics and all that in the book. I have it right there called
Yeah,
Africa
yeah,
Speaks.
yeah.
Good. So that book is a very good book. I tell people to get. It's called Africa Speaks by a European woman, but she wanted one of the elders in
No,
our.
but I got the same book by you.
Yes, that's right.
Blavatsky, I think her
Yeah,
name.
Velasky,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah. Now I
exactly.
got the same book too.
Exactly. You probably got an older version than I do.
I think
But
I do. I think I'm.
I lost my first version, and then I had to go get it again. Man, I lost a few good
Yeah,
books on
and
that
she
damn break.
recognized the people of Dogon. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying? Of Mali.
yes,
And in fact, Benjamin Banneker's birthday was earlier this month on November the 9th.
ninth.
He
Yes,
was the one who laid out the whole city of Washington, D.C., and it's such a astrological conveyance and whatnot. And in fact, I was honored to do a lecture with Avon Van Sertima in Houston, Texas, at the
right.
Shrine of the Black Madonna bookstore at that time by Reverend Cleek. That ordered had Shrine of the Black Madonna bookstores in various parts, Atlanta. I was in Houston. So those were kind of days that are very, very historic, and all these people we know now are in the history books.
That's right. It's
And
all in
and by the way, you mentioned Ivan Van Sertima. Yes, he's an Aquarius, but the original rulership of Aquarius is
Aquarius
Saturn.
with
That's why
Saturn.
we will attract eight still.
That's right. That's right.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's right.
saying?
That's right.
So
And
it's
yeah,
those things. I kept saying, why do I get eights in my life? And so
yeah,
and
I
so.
know. Me too.
Yeah, that's
Me too.
because that is the original rulership until they rediscovered Uranus and assigned it to us, our sign.
Exactly.
Neptune and reassigned it to Pisces, and Pluto that reassigned it to Scorpio. But other than that, I always teach my students always stick with the original seven planets, and you
Yes,
can't.
right. That's right. You've always told them that. You've always written that in your books and all that. And family, again, make sure you support his link tree and his website. Of course, his app also a star eight, right? Or Astro eight. It's a star
A
eight, right?
star eight,
A star
ASTAR, the number eight. A
eight, right?
star
And
eight.
very
I
good
tell people think of a star in the heavens with the number eight, which
with
is
number eight,
infinity when you lay it on
infinity.
the side.
Right,
You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
exactly. So,
Yeah.
and a lot, and what's so funny, and again, this is a little different. Of course, families usually use it. They used to Lloyd doing his thing and asking people the birthday. Nah, we ain't doing that today. We respectfully, you could go on his network and
That's
do
all
that.
right, because you're gonna get your turn next time you're on my show.
And but what's so funny, Lloyd? I was so intrigued back in the '80s when I heard you on Gary Bird, Imhotep Gary Bird. He born March 13th, right? March 13th
March
on May.
14th. He's
March
born the
14th.
same day as his mother. His
As his
mother's
mom's.
born on
Okay,
that
right,
day
right. I
too.
remember it's one of those days, 14 or 13. And I was so intrigued by how you were flowing back in those days. And of course, you've been doing it for a long time. When it comes to family, and when you announced to your mother or your father that you was going to do numerology, what was their expectation from you before you went to numerology? What did they think you was going to become before that?
I don't know, and I didn't know myself, but I tell you this: when I got out of school and I told Dad I wanted to be a numerologist, in his, in that generation, it was like, oh, we got the first Black doctor in the family.
Right.
So
Neurologist.
he took numerology as a neurologist, a study
Yeah.
of the nerves. And then about a week or two later, he says, what was that again? Because he must have told his friends. You know what I'm saying? And I says, I wanted to be a numerologist. He asked me, I explained what it was. And then, as all fathers would do to their children, well, how do you make a living? That I didn't know, Simon.
That's
You
true.
did the same thing yourself. We had
Exactly.
no idea. It was just something that we were passionate about, and we just had the stick to itiveness and the tenacity and the dedication and determination. And look at us. And as I graciously say, and with great pride, that in the 100 top best numerology selling books of all time, our books are on that list. And
On
in
that
fact,
list.
if they only did the best 50 best-selling books of all times in numerology, our names is
They
on that
still be
list.
on the list.
Yeah. So, listen. So, but it just shows about the body of work we've done and everything like that.
You know,
So, which is nice.
somebody asked in the chat, how did you discover and uncover numerology? What were you in before numerology? Tell the world that, Lloyd.
Oh, I was into astrology because I was shy in school, shy to the girls, you know what I'm saying? And so I said, let me get into my sign. And that's how I built up my confidence. But along the way, I found out there has never been a person I've met, and I think you can testify to this too,
Yes,
that
sir.
if you tell them in an intelligent way, they want to know more about who they are.
That's right. That's right.
Regardless. Even the skeptics, they don't believe it, but can you tell me something? You know
Even
what I'm
the
saying? And they even know their sign too. They
you
don't
know,
believe it, they can tell you their sign right away.
and you know, a lot of people don't know you used to teach in City College. How long was you teaching in City College back in the day?
I taught there about 2.5 years.
2.5 years. That's right.
And I started, but my introduction was on the corner of UCLA on the corner of Lenox Avenue.
That's right.
Is,
Malcolm X Boulevard now.
Yeah, Malcolm X Boulevard, and it was called the Tree of Life
Tree of
Bookstore.
Life. That's right.
And John Harris, born September the 4th, he would say, when are you going to put that book out, brother? I'd say, what are you talking about? But he was the one that really kind of kept a bug in my ear periodically. You know, when are you going to write that book? And I passed that on. I even asked you, when you going to write a book? Now you got all these books coming out. So all of my students that I see have potentials, I say the same thing. When you going to write the book? Because this is an ancient African science.
That's right.
Okay. And so it then begs a question about the religious body coming up during the 60s, in the sense that they will say, well, you know, the Bible says this, that, and the other, but I tell them, can you name me a war fought in the name of a zodiac sign? They can't.
That's right.
Where can you name me a war fought in the name of a number? And I explain them that religion is a belief, which is why man go to war with each other, because they think my God is better than your God. Okay, although all the great tenets in one way or another says thou shalt not kill.
Right.
Okay,
right.
They'll say it in this way, that way, but the basic, and yet countless wars are going on in the name of God or religion, things of that nature.
Yes,
but numerology is a science.
That's right.
So that's where the difference is.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Religion is a belief.
That's right.
But numerology is a science. So you and I can argue, but 2 and 2 plus 2 is still going to be 4 when we get off this, settle down.
All around the world, no matter what language you speak, cuneiform, Hebrew, Amharic, Arabic, no matter Japanese. I got Japanese numerology books.
I got Japanese numerology book too.
Yes, of course. We got the abjad. We got all of this. All these books. Everywhere around the world, 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah, that's
everywhere around the world.
Line. And when I met Minister Farrakhan on several occasions, he said what I did was called supreme mathematics.
Yes.
We now know in the scientific language that the universal language of the universe is mathematics.
Exactly.
That's what is able to get the rocket to the moon and back and all this other stuff, man. It's just really, really a really wonderful experience about numbers. And I challenge people, during the pandemic, when it was during that 2020, 2021, 22, especially about, all right, I have a challenge. I put up $100 bill, right? And I says, this $100 bill is yours free. You must tell me how you're going to start and end your day without using numbers. It can't. It's impossible. Our inclination is to look to see what time we got out. We're either going to make a call. We're going to get a call. If you live in an elevated building, you're going to press a button. If you go for breakfast or dinner or lunch, you're going to spend money. You know what I'm saying? You just don't leave a turkey in the oven because Thanksgiving is next week. You don't leave a turkey in the oven and decide to come back 2 weeks later and expect your kitchen to be there too. Much less the turkey, So timing is everything. Measurements, the distance from here. How did the people of Mali, the people of the Dogon people knew about the Sirius star in the heavens? There were no telescope. So they tried to say, well, missionaries came through. So they want to give credit to everybody but who we are, the original man.
Right.
But we knew about the density, the circumference, the weight, Sirius B, the smaller one. I mean, how do we know these things? But these are things that come from us, so it doesn't surprise us. The challenge is that other people don't want to acknowledge our contribution, but everything does, man. We are the most copied people on the planet culturally.
And I remember, Lloyd, when you said you went to Kemet and they said that that you had the skin of the Chaldeans.
Yes,
Remember?
yes,
And
yes.
look at this book here, The Black Chaldeans.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, that's where the bricks were used to build the pyramids in the first place,
Exactly.
in Chaldea. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So all these things was justifiable. It's just unfortunate we live in a world where one just think one is superior than another, whereby you give credit where credit is due.
That's right.
You know,
And
um, every culture. It's interesting. We can appreciate all colors of flowers and birds and dogs and cats, but when it comes to human beings, people get uptight.
yeah, that's right. That's
You
true.
know,
That's
and
true.
so since we're going now into a 9 year, which is we
Yes.
know 9 is one of the opposition numbers to this nation, as
Yes.
a Cancer, some Mars Moon opposition, and therefore, so people are on edge, and so it's not that people are in disagreement anymore. People want to hate each other. I don't
Yes.
get that. You know what I'm
It,
saying?
it don't make sense, especially when if you're studying these type of modalities and sciences, you'll understand to try to stay on the higher frequency of it, so we can all affect the energy of the world. Together.
Yeah,
Because we can't.
yeah.
We can't because, like Bob Marley said, born February 6th, 1945. Big up to Bob, the late great Bob used to say, "If the wicked can keep on doing wickedness 24 hours a day, then why are the righteous people doing righteousness at least 24 hours a day?" We got to put this
Mhm.
work in, everybody. And what would you say, Lloyd, to the young and up and coming metaphysical students? Because a lot of people, and like I said, I refuse to call myself a reader. I always say consultant or advice.
Me too. Exactly.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
it's much more. It takes me away from the street level of what the people of India is doing. No disrespect to them, because they giving out flyers, they got palm reading flyers
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But it takes us off of the gypsy type mentality that we're just going around and going to corners, and it takes us to the higher echelons of carrying people to the next level. Because one thing the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said to Brother Ramza, who made the jewelry for the Nation of Islam, if you remember Brother Ramza back in the day,
Yeah. Yeah.
he said, don't go into the hole with your precious talents and gifts. Instead, stand outside of the hole and let them come up and meet you where you're at. This is what Elijah Muhammad told Brother Ramza.
But that's about elevating your consciousness, your
Exactly.
awareness, things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
as against going down. What did Michelle Obama in another way say? When they go low, we go high.
We go high. That's right.
Yeah, so that's
And
how it is.
like
So
martial arts, I go both ways, low and
yeah,
they go.
yeah, yeah. So I think it's very interesting, and seeing you and I know that kings and queens and people of power positions have used these sciences that people want to mock.
Exactly.
And from Hitler to J.P. Morgan to Ronald Wilson Reagan, the president, the last Aquarian president. And in fact, above the 5 Aquarian presidents, he was the only Aquarian president to get out of office alive.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? But his wife, upon the attempted assassination of her husband on March the 30th of 1981, downtown in Washington, D.C., in front of the Hilton, she then called in Kathleen Quinn, who was an Aries,
That's right.
and she made sure her husband did not make any moves until she consulted this astrologer.
That's right. And he
But
was
see,
in
that
his
don't make the history books, though.
and in numerology, he was in his reputation cycle, and 3 is one of his good numbers, which is interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. And everything about him was a six. 6 letters his middle name. And see, when he
exactly.
was elected, that movie The Omen had come out. Six, six,
Yes,
six. So he had
666.
6 letters in his middle name, 6 letters in his first name, 6 letters in his last name. And if you say WWW under the Chaldean system, that's 666.
666. Yes, it was. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
And and interesting, a lot of people are afraid of numbers like that, like 666. When I always tell people, because we got we've had many clients that may be born on 6/6,
yeah.
1966. And they might think they are, because of that movie, they've gotten frightened for that number 666. And when
But
you do go, go ahead.
that's taken from the New Testament in
Exactly.
Revelation. For
Right.
here is the beast, it is the mark of man, and his number is 666.
666.
So
Exactly.
the Bible was used. That's why I was saying. So when the people get all hung with the Bible, I said that same Bible was used to justify the enslavement of Black people in this country.
Exactly.
You know, so I take it in the proper context, and there is, and then you know, I get to people and I says, well, you know, the Bible is a numerology book. They get
Exactly.
all upset. But name me a verse, Psalm 23 verses 10 through 12. That's
Exactly.
numbers.
That's
You
numbers.
know,
That's right. And
Deuteronomy
they got
14 through 12 through, you know what I'm saying?
exactly,
Listen,
and they got the book of numbers.
yeah, the fourth book, the Old Testament. And in fact, what people don't know, if they go further into that book, all the 12 tribes of Israel has their specific numbers spelled out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what's so funny? My father is a minister. Big up to my father. He's still alive out there in Tampa, Florida. And he's 80, he's 81 now. His birthday just passed September 25th. And he's a minister. And he said to me, you know, he said, I'm reading the book of Numbers now just because you talk this number stuff. This is my father now. He was a straight
Yeah.
minister under Greg Poe, under Creflo Dollar, and an ordained minister himself. And I started laughing because he did a session with me too to try to save his marriage at one time. Unbeknownst to his wife, because she's a staunch person. But I told him and broke down their numbers and how it worked. And sure enough, they're still together. This was like five years ago. I think we did that. 5 or 10 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
So this is again, the title of this thing is called The Wonderful Science of Numbers. But I wanted to get Lloyd's history because his history as far as what he does and what he has been doing for years throughout Harlem. All of you that are jumping into this, and I know he has a course where he's showing you how to make it a business. So make sure
Yes.
you support. Now, tell them about that course and what you're doing.
Well, I started in the summer of last year, and I've had 2 classes, very successful ones.
Right.
And what's happening is, since so many people are laid off. For example, when I was at WLIB,
Yep.
and back after the World Trade Center collapse in 2001, in that December, almost everybody in radio was laid off. Everybody was scrambling to find a job.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problems because people still wanted readings and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying is to fall back, to have something. And the point is, you can take this skill all over the world. Our courses, our Udemy courses on numerology is sold all over the world.
That's right.
My courses now, I have students on every continent in this world, on all 7 continents, you know, including Russia,
That's right.
including this place and that place. But what it speaks universal principles. But it's just a matter of teaching people how to do this, because first of all, you can't do nothing without numbers.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I had a general doctor's appointment. Just, you know, I always do a regular checkup. I learned that from ladies, because we guys will wait till the last minute before we go to a doctor. But
That's true.
he was born on March the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter was born on June the 30th. His other daughter was born October the 31st. They were all water signs.
Yes.
And I says, well, you got different girls. I says, one looks like you. He said, that was true. And one is totally different. And he says, that's the one that makes straight A's. But how do you do that? And he was just amazed. And do you know he wanted to get a reading from me?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. Yeah. So people don't understand how this helps people. One of the common things I'll get is like, wow, I wish I'd known this a while ago. I wish I'd known this 20 years ago. Yep. So and so. And I've met people. And in fact, one of my sisters, one of my accountants, actually heard of me when she was in the 5th grade, because the substitute teacher brought in my book, was reading it. And, you know, he didn't care what the kids were doing. He would bring his book in. She was curious to find out, well, what book are you reading? And lo and behold, years later, she now has 2 daughters. I'm the godfather of both her daughters and her husband. You know, the world is small, man. But it shows you the accuracy of numbers.
Exactly. Now, family, family, remember Lloyd Strayhorn is our guest. Make sure you support him by a Cash App, $ numbersandyou, his PayPal. You use that email right there, Lloyd Strayhorn at MSN. He's had that email for a long time. I've known him for so long. MSN.com. His 800 number is 800. Don't call him now. It might go straight to his phone, but 800-581-4401. And remember, his links are pinned at the top of the chat. Linktree/numbersandyou. And also his website is Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Now, talking about mathematics, Lloyd, getting into this, a lot of people don't know that you're a musician also. You know, a lot of people don't know that side of you and what you, and I remember you and Dr. Africa and various other people. But did you ever used to play with a band, and what instrument do you play? Because that is also a mathematics. Music is mathematics.
Well, at the time coming up, I was playing with a Latin band. They were all brothers, but we was into Latin music. We would go to Palladium downtown to see Tito Puentes, Freddie Pacheco. You know, I like Pacheco because the flute and whatnot.
Yes, that's right.
So I originally started playing piano.
Yeah. Oh,
and
really?
And in fact, when we won, it was Contigo y Sucumbo. That was the name of our group. And we actually won first place on amateur night at the Apollo Theater, and I was playing piano at the time.
Wow.
You know,
get out of here. Yeah. See, people don't know this. See, that's why I said I'm going to do this another way.
Yeah. And so I think at the time the gift was $25. We went out and had a ball. You got to understand, $25 in today's money is like about $200-300. Okay.
Right. You can buy 10 pieces of groceries, a lot of groceries.
Yeah. So what happens is I then segued to flute because one of my loves was the bass. And what happens is I would go to different venues and one of the keys would be off. It would throw off the whole rhythm of the playing.
Right.
But then there's a guy named Roy who was a bass player. He would play behind us. And Roy would always have a problem trying to find a cab, trying to load that big bass in a cab. So I says, no, I don't want to. So that's when I picked up on the flute. That way I could chuck it under my arm, carry it anywhere and go play.
I mean, nobody even knew that you played at the Apollo like that. And you
that's
played
right.
a Spanish,
that's
a Latino band. Oh my God.
Yeah.
My family's from Cuba and Jamaica. So when I met Celia Cruz at SOB, she just gave me a big hug. She said, Simon. She gave me a big hug, and I was like, yo, I met Tito Puente. I met of course, the late great what's the brother there, Johannesburg. What's the word? Johannesburg. What's the word? The rapper. Gil Scott Harris. I met him at SOB.
In Aries.
So. And of course, I met the last poet, all of them, and I think there's only one more poet left. My man there, man, Abadoon, and I seen him.
I know him too. He's a
me too. I seen him with Felipe the other day. Felipe Luciano, remember Felipe from the radio?
Felipe's birthday is coming up on the 24th of this month.
Yes, it's coming up. I need to call him and do an interview with him, man. I have his number too. I gave him because he was at a martial arts.
Real nice brother. Very
nice. He came to one of my lectures and spoke at one of my events too one time. So, and again. Did you recognize when you was into the instrument? Did you ever recognize its connection to mathematics or astrology in any way? Did you ever?
Not at that time. I was just into my music. I was into astrology, but it was a couple of years later that I really got into the world of numerology, and I got hooked.
And you know what's so funny? In your book, you mentioned about music and colors and all of that. And what connected. That's why I love your book. To me, is like a Bible. Although they got a numerology Bible, I got that Bible here too. But they got this.
Oh, and another thing I'm noticing is our books, our names of our books are being used in a lot of bibliographies when you refer other books.
Yes,
our names. I saw your name appearing in one book I got. I said, "Whoa, this is nice. That's my man. That's my brother, King Simon." You know what I'm saying?
And you know what's so funny? Lloyd pays attention to a lot of that, and I don't even pay attention. I just keep on doing.
Well, you were the one that told me about some guy that did on numerology and healthy. He mentioned my book, and I said,
that was Michael Brill. Michael Brill mentioned your name. And there's another, the idiot guy mentioned your name too. The idiot guy to numerology mentioned your name also.
And you know what's interesting? And let me tell you what started me with this thing about the online course.
Yes.
Coming up, and when it started getting real popular with the online courses, I was going to say, oh man, I need to sign up for this course. So when I did the background, they said there were 2 books that they referenced to use. The first of those 2 was my book.
That's right.
And I said, what? Okay.
It doesn't take you. It wasn't taking you too fast to wait a minute.
I said, don't make those just sign up. They're going to use my book because I wrote the book.
Look, I've heard people quote your book or quote my book and say big up to all of them that do that.
And it's a compliment. It's the ultimate compliment.
It's a compliment. And that's why
my daughter says, Dad, I saw somebody reading your book on a train, or whatever the case is.
Exactly.
And we're making that. But then again, we are humanitarian science, so we're
Yes.
definitely making our contributions to humanity.
And don't leave our books alone. You around, they will steal our books.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling you
yeah.
that right now. I've
It
heard
makes for
people,
great book sales. I tell people, you gotta don't loan your book out to your girlfriend,
don't
your
lose your
mother.
book out.
Yeah,
Don't
because
leave it
you're not
right
gonna get
there.
it back.
Don't
Yeah,
don't do it. I'm telling you.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, family again. As we're breaking, coming down to the last few minutes with Baba Lloyd, because I don't want to keep him. He just did a show, and he came on around 8:30 for my show, and I love it that he came out. And again, this is different because we're talking about
This is. I've done interviews, but this is not the ordinary interview. So I'm
because
surprised.
this is your family,
I told
Lord.
all my business
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah. But you know, and family, and you mentioned your children. How do your children feel about numerology? Because you know, my children, they study and watch every now. Probably the best one that knows it is probably my first son, who really knows astrology and numerology and use it, and we talk that language. But how about, because you have the same amount, basically the same amount of children that I got.
Yes, I
So,
have 6 children, but all of them, only one of them, my daughter, who's a 7 like me, is into it.
oh, that's what's the name that does yoga,
Kira.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
Kira. Big up
Kira,
to
with
Kira. I
yoga.
got
Yeah.
her book. I got her raw food book. I do got
Yeah,
that book.
yeah.
Big up to Kira.
So
I need
she
to.
is
Would you
into it.
tell her I need to get her on? Please tell her to hurry.
Okay.
I need to get
Well,
her on.
all of my children know their numbers. Now, I
Yes.
don't force them to say, well, y'all got to be a numerologist like your dad, because their thing is to find their own path in their own way.
Right.
But they are very aware of their numbers. They're
Mhm.
very aware of their high and low cycles. And I told them, don't be telling them I'm your father and you don't know your number. Okay. So they got that part straight.
And you know, and did they take hold to it from a young age, or did they wait a little
Over
bit?
time, because see, at that time I was so busy struggling
Yeah.
to get it to the level that I have. They were just kids being kids. I
Right.
wasn't
Right.
saying, well,
Right.
listen, you got to be. And I often said to myself, although I would love for them to learn, but if one of my children, one of my sons, for example, loved the smell of gasoline, he wanted to work at a gas station,
That's
I
right.
prayed to be mature enough to support him. Like, well,
Exactly.
because a lot of times we, from what I'm told, we parents will sometimes project what we could not be and wanted to be on our children.
That's right. That's true.
And that's
That is.
not, they're not finding their way.
And you
They're
know,
not finding their way.
I understood that from a long time ago. I remember myself and my son Prince. Imagine he was him and I was at Queen Afua's spot, and Ali the Great. You know, Ali, Queen Afua's son. You know,
Yeah,
born
yeah, the
January 30th.
Capricorn.
Yeah. He tried to say, you know, you got to take your father's legacy, and blah blah blah. And I told Ali, I said, calm down, Ali. I said, I want
I
my
know.
I,
He's
I said,
intense.
I want my children to be themselves. I don't want them
Yes,
to be me.
exactly.
I want them
Exactly.
to be the better part of me, because, of course, you know, I've said it on my channel that I wasn't the best of a father because I was chasing entertainment and all that kind of stuff, parties everywhere. So, you know, they wasn't allowed to really come around me because I was so much parties I had at
Yeah.
my places. Wherever I was at, I had a party. So, you know, no Diddy. I wasn't doing Diddy stuff like crazy. but but the parties that I had were good parties, put it like that.
No
And
question. I vouch
and,
for it too.
but you know what's so funny, you know, and I'm glad that my son Prince, he decided he was going to study on his own. I didn't force it on him. He came, he lived with us for a few months. He watched my book collection and he went in, because that's the type of mentality. And I send my books to all of my children so they can get it. And if they
Yeah.
choose to study it, boom. If they choose not to study, it's cool. I'm just letting them know that if they don't study it, it might skip a generation to these 14 to 15 grandchildren that I got. I know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because I see it in them. I see the numbers that they have. You know, especially that little January 7th one. She's January 7th. I can see she gonna do something with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That sounds
So,
like my December 7th daughter.
exactly, because
Yeah.
that 7 rules the metaphysic world and the
Yeah.
spiritual world. So
Yeah.
we
And so
understand
she's
that.
into it. She'll remember everybody's birthday. She'll text everybody so and so's birthday today, so and so. So she's got that down. But it's just amazing. And then see, you and I've been blessed to teach people privately.
Yes,
We've
sir.
done countless lectures and things like that.
Oof,
And
man.
had somebody said, Lloyd, and I was the worst math student in the world. I was
Me too. Me too.
the
I was
student.
good at it, but I wasn't that good.
No, I ain't going front. I was not good in the math. Okay. And if somebody says, Lloyd, one day you write books on numerology and using numbers, I'd have said, yeah, right. But that's exactly what happened.
Family, Before we leave, Lloyd, hold on. I got to play a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back to finish it off with Lloyd Strayhorn. Don't go nowhere. We'll be black after this. Let's give Lloyd a well-deserved round of applause. We'll be back with more right here on King Simon Presents. Only quality people right here on YouTube. Don't touch that dial as I give you this commercial break with Professor Grit. Numerovation with King Simon. Text me now at 347-496-1022. You can also take my course if you want to, but do text me for your sessions at 347-496-1022. You can also get my books on Amazon at Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. Remember, you can book your session and get it done right now. 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. King Simon the Numerovator. That's right, our special guest is with us, Lloyd Strayhorn, the wonderful science of numbers and his whole history. We went into it this year. And just want to remind everybody, family, that tomorrow, with the one, the only Dr. B. Sirius will be on with me tomorrow afternoon at 12 noon. 12 to 1 p.m. talking about his new free webcast coming up at 7 p.m. On November the 21st, which happens to be tomorrow. And make sure you support my dear friend, Dr. Shakira Moore, who will be on a podcast this coming weekend. Matter of fact, tomorrow also with Destiny from Egyptian Eyes. And don't forget Paris Williams. I'm going to be with Paris Williams tomorrow. Also, a lot happening tomorrow. I'm telling y'all right now. I'll be with Paris Williams over there at Saturn's Daughter 47. That's Saturn's Daughter 47 tomorrow. Make sure you support Paris all the time. And remember, my mods are in the building doing what they got to do and keeping it moving. Big up to them, big up to them, big up to them, and big up to everybody. We're going to be running all those commercials towards the end anyway. Back to the show, of course. Lloyd, this has been
This was fun. This was totally different. As countless interviews as I've done, I mean, seriously.
Yes,
this was something that I brought out things, or I remember things that I forgot all about. But I've been doing this for a long time, Simon, and I love every minute. And the nice thing for me is to see people way up the road that says, I met a lady when she was 16. Now she's in her late 50s. And it gives, I said, wow, I've been doing this a long time, but we don't think about it when you enjoy what you do.
That's true. That is true.
And so I know people want to call me Baba and Elder and all that stuff. I understand. I accept it in the spirit which is given me. I like to be students. That's why you think we still write. Why you think we still do what we're doing? We're students.
Exactly. We are students, man. We are students. And family, I wanted to show you his website for a reason. Instagram, we will be they're shutting us down in the hour at the top, right in the next few minutes. So if you want to come on over to YouTube, Instagram. They've been shadow banning me and a few other people. So they only giving me an hour on when I used to be able to get all 2-3 hours on Instagram, but now they only giving me an hour. So Instagram, come on over to the channel. That's King Simon Presents, only quality people, or King Simon Presents. That's youtube.com/King Simon Presents if you want the rest of this interview with Lloyd Strayhorn. Come on over. This is his website, family. Make sure y'all support whatever he's doing. You got your numbers right here. I mean, there's Udemy courses also on here. Make sure you support Baba Lloyd, our brother Lloyd, and what is numerology, how it works, doing calculations. All of this is on his website, his books, everything, even going to the actual audio books is on his website. All of that is on. They got an audio book already out, only for $16.99, making sense. Of course, that's $16.99 makes a lot of sense, Lloyd.
Yep.
Go You can go to a store. You got to go to a store for every little book he got there. Look at all the books he got. Check him out. Make sure you support our brother Lloyd. He even got a relationship report that he does. And of course, make sure the New Year report, he does that. He also got I know you got also a newsletter and everything else, right?
Yes. And they can get that. And because of you, I am now on Linktree. So if they go to Linktree/numbersandyou, they can get my book, my app, everything like that,
Yes.
So I think that's very interesting, Simon. So it's just very nice, Simon. You've done so much for me. People have no clue, because at the time, and actually you revived the metaphysical community in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? Just being a superb promoter you are. So God brought us together. We've been tight ever since the 80s.
We've been tight ever since. And Lloyd, last thing, because it's now 9:25 and we've been on from
and I want to say this quickly too.
Go ahead.
You're one of the few people that got a book I wrote 45 years ago. It's now a collector's item.
Yes, that's right.
I found that book and I says, my man got to get this book. Okay.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That's right. I remember you. I still got it right up here on my shelf, man. I make sure I
don't definitely loan that book out.
No.
That's rare.
You signed that book, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
And you even, people out know you had a hardcover book too.
Yes, hardcover and softcover. That's right.
Yeah, you've been having hardcovers.
And I published it because people said I couldn't do it. And you know how we Aquarians are.
Yeah, don't tell me I can't do nothing. That's right. Before we finish, Lloyd, legacy. Because Mike. What's so funny? I watched Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Right, both of them is in the 8th personal year this year, which is funny.
Yeah.
Me. Jake Paul born the same day as Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson's mentor guy. Like, whoa, this is crazy. I said, I knew it was a fix for money. I knew it was about money, but I didn't want to put out there that it would be Jake and all that kind of stuff. I just
yeah.
It can go anywhere when that 8 pops up. It can go anywhere you want when that 8 pops up. So I was very cautious about even doing that, but I knew it was a money grab from the time I seen 8. I said it was funny. So, but legacy. Tyson don't really care about legacy. Jake does. I know he does because he's born on the 17th. 17 is that legacy leaving number. He better be. He knows about that legacy. Mm-hmm. What do you want your legacy to be in the near future? In the future, if anything, what do you want 100 years from now? What does Lloyd want to see his legacy?
The legacy to me is not about the material things as much as how much I help humanity. Mm. That's priceless.
Yes.
There'll be people long after I'm gone that remember me when I read them as children that are now doing things on a very great level. I mean, I'm serious. A lot of people I've met when they were very young are now in positions of power and positions of authority. And it's a great feeling, man, to do the work. So that's the legacy, not how much money I made, because you can't take the money with you anyway.
That's right.
You know exactly. So I'd rather leave something that serves humanity. And then we are humanitarian signs. That's why we're one of the few signs that is symbolized by a human figure, not animal or an animate object.
That's right.
So that's the legacy I would like to leave, that I really serve my role of helping humanity. Simon, we the same way. We the same thing.
That's right. We are. And somebody asked a quick question: which book has cities and countries that will help with moving? That one right there.
Yeah, that's the Bible. That's the Bible.
That is the Bible, the numerology Bible to me. Yeah. And although they got one out there, but he is the one that wrote this one. So this one right here, that's the book, Philly Cat. That book right there, Numbers and You. That book right there. All right. So make sure y'all get that book. All right, Lloyd. Thank you so much for coming on.
I say to you too, man.
And being a part of my journey
and
here.
Also, us for one brother to another.
Us to you, brother, and the whole family. And make sure you tell your daughter. I know you probably get to forget, but
I'm going to see her this weekend. I'm going to see her this weekend.
Oh, you going up there?
Yeah, probably.
How's her husband doing? How's they doing? They cool?
He's fine. John is doing fine.
Oh, John, I sent my greetings, man.
Oh, that's good. I certainly will.
And Lloyd, thank you very much for coming on. This was a little different.
And I love you much, Simon. You did good. You did good. Love you. You're my brother, though. So
I'm gonna make people watch this over because you really told a lot of your stuff, man. A lot of people don't realize how deep that was.
And it's all your fault. I was minding my business. But
Lloyd,
it brought about a lot of things that I had not thought about. I'm so busy moving forward,
yes, but
and so you brought back a lot of things.
your autobiography would be interesting too, sir. I know
I
that.
think so too. I
I
think
think
so
you
too.
should do it. I think you
That'll be
should do it.
1929 or something, 2029 or something like that. I'll think of something. Because people have been pressing me.
Of
Of all the
course.
people I met, like you have met, the people I've met,
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
it's amazing. It's really amazing. But I'm kind of I like staying under the radar a little bit.
I understand, but hey, look, before you leave this planet, leave the book.
I say, I
I
say.
say, Brother Lloyd, thank you very much. I love
Thank
you
you,
much,
man.
man.
Love
Thank
you
you,
too,
man.
buddy. You take
All
care.
right.
Thanks so much. Okay.
All right, that was our brother Lloyd Strayhorn, man. He came on and gave us information, man. Not just numbers, man. But he gave us the science connected to why he went there, and why he studied it, and all that. And that's what I wanted to do, something different. And I think that was the only that I would probably be the only one that's able to bring that out. And thank you for supporting my book, Divinity. Thank y'all very much for all the people that came up on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We had to end that, but thank y'all very much for coming in and showing our elder some love. Baba Lloyd Strayhorn. People call him Baba because Baba, it means father, really. But remember, tomorrow, I'm going to do one of these lessons tomorrow. This one, numerovation of recharge or recharging, or I'm going to do this one, all is well and well is all. I'm going to do one of those, either this one or that one, early in the morning before we bring on Dr. B. And Dr. B is going to be on with us. Remember, Dr. B will be with us on tomorrow on IG. Do not come to YouTube. He will be on with us on IG tomorrow at I am King Simon and at Dr. B Serious on IG, speaking about his new webinar or free webcast that he got coming up tomorrow night at 7 p.m. The Body Never Lies Class 3 Introduction with Dr. B Serious. So that's going to be fun tomorrow. And do remember, Dr. Shakira Moore will be on Destiny Pendarvis show, Egyptian Eyes, the podcast, the live Egyptian Eyes boutique podcast at 6 p.m. And then at 6:30, I'm going to Saturn's Daughter 4/7 with Paris Williams. We're going to be talking about it. So I'll be on that YouTube channel tomorrow. Make sure y'all support Paris and whatever she's doing. And these are all of Paris links right here. Look at Paris' beautiful eyes. Big up to Paris all the time. And this is Dr. Shakira Moore. Hit her up at Holistic Hope at Instagram, Linktree/Holistica Healer, and also call that number right there or text that number for more information. She got a masterclass coming up for absolutely free. Go to Holistica Palace. That's Holistica Palace at Linktree. And she has a liver flush going on for the winter solstice. Make sure you support. And do remember, another one of my moderators, like Dr. Shakira, this one here, Millicent Simmons. Make sure you hit her up, Color Curiosity. All her numbers, her email, her link tree is up here. But guess what? She has a special going on. Align yourself for 2025 and beyond. Elevate your confidence through colors. The right colors that you put on, the right colors that you paint your room, your house will elevate your consciousness and your vibration. Make sure you text that number for consultation. Text the word consultation to 813-325-4205 for color analysis, connecting to not only colors, but numbers and astrology. She can help you out with that. And big up to Dr. Phil Valentine, Dr. Philip Valentine. Woo! Dr. Philip Valentine got a webinar coming up on January the 19th, 2025. Go to his website, uksnow.org, or hit him up at the 1-800 number. Make sure you leave a clean message, a clear message, 1-800-847-1219. And if you want to work from home, family, if you want to work from home, you want to make some extra money. All you need is a computer and a phone. These people are hiring right now. All you have to do is text the word hire me. Text the words hire me to 770-861-9906. You want to homeschool your children? You want to work from home, part-time, full-time, make a little extra money while you're homeschooling your children. You must have a clean black background and record. You can't go there with no felonies and all that. But it is something that you might be of interest to. As long as you got a phone and a computer, you could work from home and tell them that King Simon sent you, all right? Tell them King Simon sent you. Again, big up to Lloyd-Strayhorn.com, 800-581-4401. Hit them up. Big up to NicholasBrooklyn.com. Hit up NicholasBrooklyn.com, celebrating 50 years. 50 years in this business is not easy. I'm 57. It wasn't easy to get to 57. I'm telling you that right now. So big up to NicholasBrooklyn.com. Big up to Carrie Ann Ingram. You want to reduce depression, stress, anxiety, grief, anger through Reiki energy or sound healing, whether online or offline, call Carrie Ann Ingram, or actually go to our website, carrieanningram.com. That's carrieanningram.com. Big up to my sons. They got 2 businesses. JB Services, Metro Atlanta. Text him if you want car detailing coming right to your house, making it happen. Make sure you got water in the house, though, because he's going to use your water, or he might use off the street water. Dumpster wash, pressure wash. He can help out with your house. Call the number right there on the bottom anytime you want to get that done at your house. You got to be in Atlanta or in the surrounding areas. And here's my other son's business right here, Green Studio, NYC, 929-456-3009. If you want to book a consultation with me, please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. And don't forget, text your email also, because I got to email you the details. So if you text me your full name, date of birth, and email, I will email you the details and let you know what's going on, so you'll know what different levels of numerology or numerovation that I get into. 10-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, and also an hour session. All right? Boom. If you want any of my books, all my books are available on Amazon right now. All my books are available on Amazon, but you could also go to my Linktree /King Simon the Numerovator. That's Linktree /King Simon the Numerovator. Let me say it one more time. Linktree /King Simon the Numerovator. And remember, my new books are coming out on the road next year. This book right here, my children's book, new children's book, coming soon in 2025. Strive to live a positive life. That's the new children's book that's going to be coming out next year. And the angel numbers, the angle and angel, the numerational angles and angel numbers book by King Simon, coming out. More than likely it's going to be published by Forbidden Knowledge. This particular book has to go to Forbidden Knowledge publication. Oh, it's going to be big. It's going to be major promotion for this. And I want it to be hardcover. I'm thinking about hardcover. I'm thinking about it, but if soft cover is cheap, is cool. But I like the hardcover. We might have exclusive hardcovers for this one because it's going to be a collective item, just like Numerovation for Mental Stability. And for 2026, my autobiography, When the Late Bell Rang. I thought of that title probably 10 years ago. I even designed another cover. But I'm glad AI has helped me out with a lot of these color designs, and I'm going to make it happen for this. But this is the name of my book, When the Late Bell Rang. When the late bell. And look at that school hallway. It looked just like my old school hallway, Erasmus Hall. But I started cutting school from PS 11. I started cutting school. And when the late bell rang, I couldn't go back in. And I just had to. I'll talk about it in the store. I'll talk about it because I had to get away from the paddy wagon. I had to get away from police in the paddy wagon. I had to do all kinds of stuff for that first day. Man, as a young child, cutting school. And in Jamaica, we used to call it skull school. We used to skull school back in the day. So, man, that's going to be, it's a tearjerker just writing the titles of each chapter for that autobiography. Just writing the title of each chapter is a tearjerker. So it's going to be a roller coaster ride. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, I'll tell you, for me. But the way I'm going to break it down and how I'm going to get it edited is like an essay form. So I'm trying to make it like an essay form and make sure so people can understand it, the different stories, and jump right into different stories at whatever time. And they'll always have a pro and con behind every story that I write. Very important. All right, before we finish, remember what Dr. B says. He'll be on with me tomorrow at 12 noon, but he won't be on this particular platform. He will be on Instagram. Dr. B says, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I am thankful for my life. And remember what Dr. Blair says. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. Thank you, Dr. Blair. Thank you, Dr. B. Dr. B. Thank you all. Thanks to all my moderators for showing love and bringing love and helping me out and thanks to everybody that participated while Lloyd Strayhorn was here. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Make sure you donate to the channel. My PayPal is right there. My Venmo is also in there. If you want, you can donate to the channel right here. Let me post that. Let me put that link in the chat right now. You can donate if you want. If you really enjoy what we have to offer on this channel, no drama, only quality people. That's all I want to offer to this world. I don't have no time for the drama. Save the drama for your mama and your papa. Save the drama for your mama and papa. I ain't got no time for it. I tell you the truth. I really don't. I'm tired of it, but I understand it's needed. So it's now pinned at the top of the chat if you want it. And there it is. You can donate to my PayPal, my Venmo, and my Zelle. Right there, but use the email for Zelle. Do not use my number when you see it pop up. Use the email for Zelle. Please use the email. That's Tab Production 318. All right, please use it. And again, thanks to my moderators for doing what they did and keeping it moving, especially Color Curiosity. I don't know if Holistic Healing came in. I know she's doing some stuff as she's amalgamating herself or bringing herself into Georgia now that she's in Georgia. And big up to all of y'all for being gracious to spend time with me and one of my teachers, Baba Lloyd Strayhorn. He is a gem in the community. I love him immensely. That's my brother. And like I've said before, I wouldn't only die for that brother, I will kill for him. And that is the truth. You couldn't be in front of me and start attacking him without me pulling out my weapons on you. It's over. So, and that's how you got to think about your elders that mean so much to you. Just like I used to do security for Dr. Khalid and Minister Farrakhan and different artists and entertainers while we was in the nation on X-Men security, we would protect these people. Die and kill. It was more kill and then die, but that's the spirit that I am always in, because that's what we was taught in the dojo and the training grounds of life. And one of our creeds in the dojo was, as we walk in peace, and fear will not prevail. We are not the aggressors, but if we are attacked, we fight with those who fight with us, and if we must fight, we fight to the death. That is our dojo creed since 1990. That's been my dojo creed, that I purposely make it a daily prayer every time I leave this house. As we walk in peace, and fear will not prevail. We are not the aggressors, but if we are attacked, we fight with those who fight with us. And if we must fight, we fight to the death. It's it. Done. Kaput. That is our dojo creed. That's what we was taught under the systems of Dr. Moses Powell, Soki Littlejohn, GM Anthony Muhammad, Aziz Muhammad, Professor Bill, all the great ones that has touched or educated us in some way. So I say that as a prayer every day. Every day I say that as a prayer, especially as I'm leaving this house, because I always want to make it back home to be able to talk to my children or talk to my family. That was my job as a security, as going out in them street, is to always make it back home. That is the job of a police officer also. If you ever watch that movie, The Untouchable, what did Sean Connery say? If you make it back home, you did your job. You did your duty. If you make it back home to your family, you did your duty. If you make it back home to your house, you did your duty. Go watch that movie, Untouchable, with Sean Connery as a police officer at that time in the movie. With Elliot Ness, the guy, Kevin Costner playing Elliot Ness. I might watch that before I go to bed. You did your duty. That's what we in that dojo under Sanuka's rule, Jiu-Jitsu, wanted to just make it home. That's all I wasn't about the belts and all that. It's about making it home safely. That's all I'm about. So I stay focused in what I do. I know my mission. I know at least one of my missions definitely is to be a numerator and provide numbers and give you insight. But also my other mission is a promoter. My other mission was been music, been writing, and been all kinds of stuff. Doing this podcast is a mission also. So take your mission seriously. Go get a session with myself or Lloyd Strayhorn, whoever's doing any of these modalities that can bring you back to your mission. Go back to your mission, family. There's a mission that every one of you have, and there's an old saying, the world needs your unique gift. Don't leave with them still inside of you. The world needs your unique gift. Don't leave with them still inside of you. All right? Have a great day, afternoon, or evening, no matter what time you may be watching this, what moment. This will be up. This will not go into my membership. This will be up, and you'll be able to watch and live and love and learn from Baba Lloyd. And remember, you have been watching King Simon Presents Only Quality People. Remember, you could join my membership. Go ahead and join my membership. The next lesson is coming up. The numerational, spiritual, and physical perspective of recharge and recharging, and the numerational, spiritual, and physical meaning of all is well and well is all. All right? And don't forget, tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we got Dr. B Sirius coming in live. All right? Have a great day, afternoon, and evening. Love you because I love me. Take care. It's the numerational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Because the numerals hold a frequency, and if you're willing to turn up that frequency, then that frequency can help to guide you and navigate you to a higher height that will allow you to spiral to be your best self. We must remember that.
Astro.